Dear Professor Dr. Jäckel, dear Professor Dr. Neumeier, dear Dr. Bischoff, dear conference participants, I'm delighted to provide this welcome to the 17th Biennial Conference of the German Association for Australian Studies on the subject Australian Seascapes. I greet you today with the word Jumalundi. Jumalundi means hello and welcome in the language of the Ngunnawal people, the people from the traditional area around our capital, Canberra. Jumalundi. I have only been in Germany for several months, so I'm still learning about the non-government connections between our nations. I have been genuinely buoyed to find the extent and depth of research and academic connections between our nations. I trust that continues to grow, and I will be pleased to play whatever part I can in its continuing vitality. It is in that context that I want to thank and congratulate the German Association for Australian Studies and the University of Trier for delivering this conference. I've taken the trouble to look through the program for your conference, and I'm genuinely envious of those of you who are able to delve into the many fascinating topics that your conference touches on. I'm also impressed by the quality of the participants whose presentations you will enjoy. If you will allow me a very personal reflection, I find the topic of your conference particularly engaging. I grew up in Sydney, in the suburb of Tamarama, which is the next beach to the south from the famous Bondi Beach, which I see features specifically in your program. I grew up to the sounds of the waves each day, the sometimes brilliant, sometimes threatening sea and sky. And I grew up on the beach, playing football and cricket, surfing and swimming. So your topic is personal to me, and my Australia is very much the Australia of Seascape. I love Berlin, but I still feel somehow trapped by a place that is so far from the coast. But enough of my personal reflections. Yours is a rich and underexplored topic. The world of Australia's seas and seascapes is of considerable importance. The seas are vital to our trade, our industries, our culture, and, dare I say it this week, our maritime security. Much of our sense of ourselves relates to the shore, despite the strong global resonance of our outback. For the vast majority of Australians, life is lived on the shoreline. 85% of us reside within 100 kilometres of the coast. We boast 12,000 beaches, so if you were to visit one per day, it would take you 32 years. We are a nation of swimmers, surfers and sailors, and now paddleboarders. Those who seek a quieter life are said to be seeking a sea change. Our literary and artistic lives draw much inspiration from the sea. From Brett Whiteley's paintings, from his apartment overlooking Sydney Harbour, to Tim Winton's reflections on surfing life, to Kenneth Slessor's monumental poem, 5 Bells. The sea is central to our sense of selves. For our Indigenous people, that connection goes back to times that we can barely fathom. Indigenous people have a culture that relates to the land and the sea in a holistic way. For many Indigenous people, coastal regions and oceans are an essential component of cultural practice, and complex Indigenous knowledge systems using and caring for sea country have been passed on from generation to generation over millennia. And our seas are big. A little known fact about our country is that we have the third largest marine jurisdiction in the world, a massive 13.8 million square kilometres. It is home to a diverse array of marine species, many of which are unique. we do our best to protect them. Nearly 40% of our seas are protected marine parks. And we are custodians to some globally significant sea icons: the Great Barrier Reef, the Great Australian Bight, and Ningaloo Reef, to name a few. Our oceans are subject to many varied pressures, driven by increasing use of ocean resources and human-driven environmental change. We need to protect biological diversity, while at the same time promoting and encouraging sustainable marine industries. So your topic is salient, massive in scope, contemporary and intriguing. Before I come to a close, could I ask you to join, if you have not already, our network that seeks to grow the partnership between Australia and Germany in research. The Australia-Germany Research Network strengthens connections between our scholars and provides a platform for developing new relationships. I would like to invite you all to join the AGRN. Please contact me or the team at my embassy to find out more. Let me again thank the organisers of the Australian Seascapes Conference. I wish you all an engaging conference, full of fruitful discussions and inspiring exchange. I only wish I was with you for it.